Hey, Joshua Austin here with the Dentistry IQ Product Navigator Video Pearl. It's a busy Monday morning here at the office. I just finished up with one of those restorations that you just hate to do. A deep interproximal MO composite on tooth number 18. Decay was deep subgingivally, deep pulpally, started wrapping around both the facial and lingual line angles. And in those situations, one of the things that you battle is making sure you get the composite to flow into all those nooks and crannies everywhere and not leave any voids. A couple of different ways you can do it. Number one is you can just really work and focus on trying to get back there as well as you can and packing and adapting the composite as well as possible. You can use flowable composite. Part of the issue with flowable composite is that the properties aren't as nice as a traditional composite would be, like let's say a nano hybrid or a universal composite. And so now you've got a little bit weaker material right at the part that matters, the margin. The probably best way to handle that situation is by manipulating the properties of your universal composite and making it better. And making it more fit that particular situation. And one way to do that, the best way to do that, is by heating up your composite. That can be a messy process if you have the right stuff for it, but if you have one of these, the Calset Composite Warmer by AdDent, it makes it a really easy process. This little device sits on your countertop and it heats your composite for you throughout the day to give you the best materials possible for things like that, getting into those nooks and crannies of an interproximal box or way deep in the back, where you really need to make sure you get your composite to flow in different areas without stepping down and going to a flowable composite with a little bit worse properties. Let's go take a look at the Calset Composite Warmer by AdDent and see how it works. Well, here we are with the Calset Composite Heater by AdDent. And so this is the Calset heater here. Actually, this is really the heat of it. This is the heating element. This is kind of where what heats up. And then what's cool about it is all the different trays that you can put on it. So this is one of the different trays. This is another different tray. And they make about 7 or 8 different kinds of trays that you can put on there based on what you're going to use it for. Just because I use baseball as reference for everything, it's about the size of a baseball, sits on your counter, plugs into AC power here, and it works pretty well. Now it has 3 different heating settings. You can look at the light here and you can see that this light right here is red. So that means that it is heated up to 155 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where you're going to want to heat your composite up to. So if you're working with composite, that's where you're going to heat it to. When you turn it on, the little power button is right here, as you can see. When you hit that the very first time when you turn it on, this light right here is going to turn green. That means that the temperature of this is going to heat up to about 98 degrees. That's what you would heat up to like anesthetic. Okay, you push it one more time, that's going to turn orange. That'll heat it up to 130 degrees. Now the funny thing is if you look at the AdDent literature for the Calset, I can't find any reason that they recommend to heat anything up to 130 degrees. So really the 98 degrees is for anesthetic, and then you want to hit it one more time for a total of 3 times to get this button here to turn red. That's going to be your 155 degrees, which is where we want composites. And this is actually hot to the touch right now. It takes about 15 minutes for this thing to fully warm up. Composite needs to sit on there for about 3 minutes before it starts to become really flowable. So we've had this composite kind of sitting on here all day. Now this particular tray that we have here, this is what they call the multi-tray. It holds some compules of composite. It holds your composite gun. In this case, this is an AdDent composite gun that's really nice. They call this the Comax, and it works really well. You could put a couple other composite guns here, and then back here in the back, you could heat up some instruments as well. So whatever type of composite instruments you like, you can heat those up as well and get some of the same type of benefit from that. This particular tray is called the 3D tray. This will hold 3 syringes, 1 instrument, and then 4 compules. And like I said, they make a bunch of different trays. There's probably 9 different ones, so 7 more in addition to these 2. But these work really well. And so I've got some Filtech bulk fill in here, and it's been in here for a while. And it just becomes much more pliable and flowable with when it's been heated. Bulk fills don't show as much flowability as they heat up as like a traditional composite will. So let's put in some Filtech Supreme Plus here. And it's very, very, it flows much more than it would usually. And so it gives you a much better ability to really kind of shape that and get it down into the floor of your box and where you need it to be. So this works really, really well. You would just kind of have this sitting here in there all day. You can have, your assistant kind of load these up. And once this thing heats up to over to 155 degrees, you just need about 3 minutes or so for this to heat up your composite where you want it. And that's going to stay hot to the touch all day. So you just want to be a little careful with that as far as having your assistant kind of burn themselves with it, because that is pretty warm. But again, you can heat up your composites to give you some more stuff there, or heat up your composite instruments to give you some more control there. Keep your syringes in here. They make a tray for porcelain veneers to heat that up and evaporate the silane. They make a tray for local anesthetic so that you can heat that up before you inject it. Like I said, you're going to want to do that to about 98 degrees. So really the flexibility of this is really, really nice. And so if you find that this tray works better for you, throw that on, let it heat up for about 15 minutes or so, throw your composite in it for 3 minutes. And it just works really, really well. These things are fairly inexpensive, a few $100s, less than $500, probably around $300 or so. And you can have one of these for every operatory, so you don't have to move it around. Just get it hot, safe to leave your composite on all day, so you just turn it on every morning, and things work really well. So I really like this AdDent Calset composite heater. I think its flexibility is part of what makes this so great. Its ability to really customize it and get a setup that really works for you and your composite system and your composite technique, I think is great. And it gives you the ability to really get flowable type of composite without using flowable, and get your nano hybrid universal or bulk fill composite really to go where you want it to go, fill all those nooks and crannies, so that you can get a void-free restoration. So Calset composite heater by AdDent, I think this thing works really well. Give this guy a look, and I think it can improve your composites. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day.